Have you ever stopped and asked yourself this shocking question? Could my kidneys be dirty right now? I know that sounds intense, maybe even a little scary, but the truth is, millions of people over the age of 50 are walking around every single day with kidneys that are overloaded, struggling and quietly suffering without them even realizing it. And here's the real kicker. Most of us don't think about our kidneys until something goes very, very wrong. But what if I told you there are 3 everyday foods, simple and natural, that have the power to clean dirty kidneys, restore their strength, and bring back the energy, clarity, and vitality that aging often tries to steal from us? Wouldn't you want to know them? Stay with me, because in just a moment, I'll reveal these 3 powerful kidney cleansing foods, along with why they work, how you can use them safely, and even some of my own personal insights after working with older adults who made these changes and transformed their health. But before we dive into the specifics, let's pause for just a second and reflect. How often do you actually think about your kidneys? For most people, the answer is almost never. We think about our heart, our weight, our blood sugar, maybe even our cholesterol. But the kidneys? They're like those silent workers in the background, quietly filtering about 50 gallons of blood every single day, removing waste, toxins, excess fluids, and balancing minerals so that your body can run smoothly. Imagine your kidneys like the water filter in your house. If you never change it, never clean it, what happens? The water gets dirty, the filter clogs, and eventually the whole system breaks down. That's exactly what can happen inside of you if your kidneys are left clogged with too much sodium, too much processed food, too much sugar, or simply years of strain without proper support. And when that happens, it doesn't just affect your kidneys, it affects your blood pressure, your energy, your sleep, even your mood. That's why today's topic is so powerful. Because if you're over 50, this is the time to take action. And the beautiful part? You don't need expensive supplements. You don't need complicated treatments. You don't even need to wait for a doctor to hand you a prescription. Nature already gave us foods that work like a gentle broom, sweeping through the kidneys, reducing inflammation, flushing out toxins, and helping these 2 small organs each about the size of your fist do their job better. So let's begin with the first food, the one I like to call the red jewel for the kidneys, cranberries. Now, you might already know cranberries are good for urinary tract health, especially for preventing infections. But the part most people don't realize is how much cranberries also protect the kidneys themselves. They're packed with compounds that prevent bacteria from sticking to the lining of the urinary tract, which lowers your risk of infection spreading to the kidneys. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Cranberries also help reduce calcium oxalate buildup, the main ingredient in kidney stones. Think about that for a second just by adding a handful of cranberries to your day. You could be reducing your risk of painful stones and giving your kidneys a lighter workload. The best part? You don't need to eat them in huge amounts. A small glass of pure, unsweetened cranberry juice or a handful of dried cranberries can already make a difference. Personally, I've seen people over 60 who struggled with recurrent urinary tract issues finally find relief once they made cranberries. It's part of their weekly routine. It's like giving your kidneys a natural shield. And let me ask you, have you ever tried starting your morning with a little cranberry juice instead of orange juice? It's tart, refreshing, and honestly, it wakes you up in a new way. Try it for a week and tell me in the comments below if you notice a difference in how your body feels. Now, while cranberries are like a protective guard, the second food is more like a natural broom. I'm talking about garlic. Yes, garlic, the same little clove you probably already have in your kitchen. Garlic is not just a flavor booster for your meals. It's also one of the most powerful, natural, anti-inflammatory foods you can find. And this matters for your kidneys, because inflammation is one of the silent destroyers of kidney health. Over time, if your blood sugar runs high, if your blood pressure is elevated, or if your diet is heavy in processed foods, your kidneys start to get inflamed, and their delicate blood vessels become damaged. Garlic comes in like a firefighter, calming that inflammation, lowering oxidative stress, and even helping regulate blood pressure, which takes strain off the kidneys. But here's the part I find truly fascinating. Garlic contains a compound called allicin,
which has antimicrobial properties.
That means it can fight harmful bacteria and support the immune system, further protecting the kidneys from damage. When I share this with people, many are surprised because garlic feels so ordinary, so simple. But that's the beauty of it. You don't need fancy powders or mystery supplements. You just need to add garlic into your cooking in a consistent way. And if you're worried about the smell, let me tell you something funny. I've had older clients who used to avoid garlic because of the odor. But once they realized it was helping them feel less bloated, less swollen, and more energized, they said, "Who cares about the smell? I feel amazing." So here's my challenge to you. Tonight, when you cook your dinner, throw in an extra clove or two of garlic. It's one of the cheapest kidney protectors you'll ever find. Before I share the third food, let me pause and ask, are you finding this helpful so far? If yes, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because I love sharing practical science-backed tips like this, and I'd hate for you to miss the next video. All right, let's move to the third food, which is often overlooked but incredibly powerful: parsley. That's right, this humble green herb that you might think of as just decoration on a plate is actually a kidney cleanser in disguise. Parsley has natural diuretic properties, which means it helps your body produce more urine. Now, at first that might sound inconvenient, but in reality, it's one of the best ways to flush out toxins, reduce excess sodium, and prevent fluid retention, all of which put less strain on your kidneys. But there's more. Parsley is loaded with vitamin C, vitamin A, and flavonoids, which act as antioxidants to reduce damage to the kidney tissues. Some studies even suggest that parsley can lower the risk of kidney stones by helping your body regulate calcium and phosphorus levels. And here's a personal story. Years ago, I met an older gentleman who struggled with swelling in his legs. His doctor told him it was partly related to kidney stress. Instead of only relying on medications, he started making parsley tea. Just a simple infusion of parsley leaves in hot water, drinking it a few times a week. Within weeks, he noticed less swelling, and over time, his energy improved too. Now, I'm not saying parsley is a miracle cure, but it's a natural support that you can easily add to soups, salads, or teas. And sometimes, it's those small, consistent habits that bring the biggest changes. So now we've covered cranberries, garlic, parsley, 3 foods that can help clean dirty kidneys and bring new life to your body. But let's not stop there, because here's the twist. While these foods can do wonders, the real key to kidney health is the lifestyle you build around them. Let me explain. Imagine trying to clean your house while someone is dumping garbage in every room. It doesn't matter how good your cleaning tools are, you'll never get ahead unless you also stop the mess from coming in. The same is true with your kidneys. If you keep eating processed foods full of sodium, if you stay dehydrated, or if you let your blood sugar run out of control, then cranberries, garlic, and parsley can only do so much. But if you combine them with smart habits like drinking enough water, staying active, limiting processed salt, and keeping your blood sugar steady, then your kidneys aren't just surviving, they're thriving. And that's when you start to feel the difference. Clearer skin, more energy, better sleep, and even improved memory. Because yes, kidney health is linked to brain health too. So here's what I encourage you to do. This week, choose one of the 3 foods and make it a daily habit. Start with cranberries in the morning, or garlic with dinner, or parsley tea in the afternoon. Then gradually build up until all 3 are part of your routine. And please, share your experience in the comments below, because your story might inspire someone else who's struggling right now. And if you're sitting there thinking, it's too late for me, I've already damaged my kidneys, let me tell you, no, it's not too late. Your body is incredibly resilient. Even after years of strain, when you start giving it the right support, it responds. I've seen it again and again in people over 50, over 60, even over 70. The key is to take the first step today. Don't wait for a crisis. Don't wait until you're sitting in a hospital room hearing words like dialysis. Start now, because your kidneys are like the foundation of a house. If they're strong and clean, everything else in your body has a chance to work better. And who doesn't want that? To finish, let me give you this final thought. The 3 foods we talked about today, cranberries, garlic, parsley, they're not exotic, they're not expensive, and they're not complicated. But sometimes the simplest solutions are the most powerful.